I'm sure that very many of you are familiar with the British TV series Yes Minister. There's a key scene in the first episode where Bernard, the personal secretary of the minister, Jim Hacker, comes into this club where he meets Sir Humphrey and Sir Arnold. Sir Arnold is the cabinet secretary. And they start talking about the new minister, and at some point Bernard says, well, open government, it is after all the minister's policy. And Sir Arnold looks at him like oh dear. My son, he says, it's a contradiction in term. You can be open, or you can have government. So this is the challenges that we are facing. I'm talking about this from a Norwegian perspective. In addition to you, who should really be listening to this, is some people from the Norwegian government, because it's really also addressed, I'm addressing them, and what they can do better. We look upon ourselves as world champions in openness and democracy. And very often, the reality check is brutal, because we are not. We are quite good, but not that good. Okay, and I made this not because I'm bred in a small fishing village in the southwest of Norway where there were lots of churches, and so but it's a way of making it short and sweet when we have not so much time. I made like 10 commandments. 10 commandments for transparency. The first, you shall ensure, with as few exceptions as possible, that businesses where government, state, or country has a controlling influence are covered by access to information laws. Now this is already the main rule in Norway, but the exceptions are so wide and so many that they create constant discussions on whether specific businesses are covered by the access to information laws or not. Now I realize that this radical rule may give us some challenges when it comes to companies listed on the stock exchange, but it's doable. It's like this guy Brand in the Norwegian dramatic Henrik Ibsen's play says, it's the will that counts. If you really want something, you can very often make it, at least when it comes to legislation. There are some. When I talk to representatives from county administrations in Norway, leading persons, it seems like there's some kind of confusion to what they really are. What are our purpose? What kind of organizations are we running? Are we running an administration, or are we running a business? And some of them say to me, really, we need to have the same working conditions as private companies. Okay, good for me. Give me my tax money back, now. The only reason that we have gathered a lot of money and gave it to you is because you are supposed to solve some tasks that we don't expect private companies to solve. So you can't have the same working conditions. Why should we? Okay, second commandment. You should open the board meetings in all governmental, state, or county-owned businesses. Today there's a confusing system in Norway because some public-owned companies have open board meetings and some have not. And it depends on how you organize it. And of course you don't have to be a rocket scientist to conclude that, of course, many companies would try to organize it so that they don't have to have open board meetings. Third commandment, you shall ensure maximum transparency in tendering processes. Today in Norway, there is no transparency in tendering processes until the provider or the partner has been selected. And it wasn't like that before. Until 1986, there were complete openness on tendering processes. I managed to get my first job as a journalist in 1985. And in one of the counties that this local newspaper covered, the tendering process was literally open. It was public. Anyone could attend to watch them take out the knife and split the envelope and take out the tenders and read what their offer was. It's really amazing. Then everything was closed. In 1986, from 1986 to 2009, no openness at all. And in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there were several big corruption scandals revealed in Norwegian media. And that made at least some politicians think maybe we should just open up a little bit into the tendering processes so that you can investigate and examine how this process has been run. Fourth commitment. This is not the last presentation I've sent. Oh shit. Okay. It's okay. I'll just improvise when I come to that point. You should clarify in the bidding rules that finished contracts are public. In Norway, we have had several cases on finished contracts between private companies and governmental or county partners. The discussion has been like, okay, but what about secrecy on business details? Yes, but the point is the finished contract is supposed to be public. That is a rule it's fixed in beforehand. You know that if you want to attend a tendering process, you know that this is a part of the framework. Why have I put up this picture from Slovakia? It's not just because I think it's a beautiful city. I've had dinner in this castle. Amazing. But it's because they have a regulation on this specific area, which is really very good. And this is a report from Transparency International in Slovakia. Not in force until published online. It means that the contracts, they are not in force before it's published online. Fantastic. Okay. The fifth commandment. And now I have to really concentrate. You should make records of companies, owners, general managers, statutes, accounts, and social security numbers more accessible and free of charge. Now, why are we into these tiny pieces of information? Well, the ones of you who are or have been working as investigative journalists, you know that it's these small, tiny bits and pieces of information that you need to put together the picture or to open up new lockers to get access to more information. These are the keys to put together information that can give you a bigger picture. Now, Olesia was talking about we were talking about the property in London. How can you find out who's owning this flat? How can you find out, or put the other way around, how can you check out which properties do these members of parliament really own? That's two different ways into the same kind of information, but it's important. When it comes to, in Norway we have lots of discussion on social security numbers. In opposite to Sweden, and I think the US as well, social security numbers the authorities have a kind of two-tongue talk. They say that now, of course, it's not secret, but it's not very open. You should be a bit careful with your social security number. Why is that? That's because we accept it, not only as identification, but we accept it to like a credential. You can buy stuff. If you have a name, a bank account number, and a social security number, you can order mobile phones and lots of stuff on the internet. Perfect. Halfway. Okay. The sixth commandment. You should make records of properties, pursue transitions, and mortgage accessible and free of charge. Once again, the government in Norway speaks with two tongues. Now they applaud the EU documents saying that you have to make this accessible because it can be commercialized by private companies. So this is very important. But what do the Norwegian government do? They commercialize it themselves. They sell it. And they sell it at a price that's really financing the collecting of all the information. As if no one, imagine the situation, no one is buying. Okay, then we have to shut down this system with property registration. Probably not. Speaking with two tongues. Seventh commandment. You should establish public records of all engagements for public officials and politicians. For some reason, this is very, very, very difficult to establish. Although it's very, very, very simple. At almost no cost, at almost, you don't have to do very much legally or technically. It's very simple. And then the argument is, oh, but this system will not be perfect. Now, then we have to shut down most of the governmental offices. If it's only those who are working perfect who should survive. Sorry. Eighth commandment. You should cherish and protect whistleblowers and strengthen source protection, both legal and actual. Today, the protection of whistleblowers in Norway is based on a legal act that's very complicated and difficult to understand, and which I'm quite sure scares a lot of potential whistleblowers not to blow the whistle. Now, there's been appointed a governmental committee to look at these issues. I'm a member of that committee and I look forward to it, but I'm not very, very optimistic, but maybe something will happen. The ninth commandment. You should establish an online, updated and searchable register of all shareholders' interest in various companies. Now, it took a journalist from a trade press magazine called Kommunal Rapport. His name is Vegard Vendli. His last name means friendly if you are a bit. But I can assure you the Department of Finance in Norway don't look upon him as friendly. 2.5 years it took, struggling with the tax authorities and the Minister of Finance, just to get access to information that's not secret, because you can get the same information if you go to each company and ask for their shareholders list. They have to give that to you. But that's going in from one company, another company, and a third company, and a fourth company. What he wanted to do was, I want to look at the mayor, I want to look at the ministers. What kind of shares do they hold? So we're going in from the other side. And then you have to have the register from the tax authorities. And that was very difficult. Nothing of the information was secret. It was just organized another way. Okay, the 10th commandment. You should minimize and clarify all the rules on confidentiality. And we all know that we have to have some kind of rules on confidentiality. Originally, the rules in the general administration law are quite specific. They pinpoint 2 types of information that are secret. And that is information that's related to your personal, your health, your family, your sexual orientation, your beliefs, things like that. And they are related to business secrets that can be used by your competitors. Otherwise, it's basically, that's the things that basically are secret. But now we are passing laws for different parts of the governmental administration that has rules on confidentiality that are overall. They are like everything you get to know in this job, you have to be completely silent about. That's very dangerous because it doesn't separate really sensitive information from ordinary information. It was the right one. I was thinking about Mona. Okay, I'll do that. The Norwegian government has recently presented a draft rules on country-to-country reporting. The problem is, again, the limitations and exceptions from the main rules are so wide that they, in practice, undermines the possibility of investigating many companies, including reporting from tax havens. So, I'm quite sure that the ones who came up with the expression, you can't ride 2 horses with only one ass, they have never, ever met with the Norwegian government.